You're not in a boat. If you were promised a boat ride tonight and you got taken to this basement instead by surprise, I can think of worse basements you could be in. Just saying. I've seen the movie Taken. Didn't occur in a basement. I don't know. Next comic. Next comic come to the stage. That's a great transition, isn't it? Just low energy, just into a low energy introduction. Listen, and my shitty jokes will be determined even further to be shittier because of this man's fantastic jokes. I think if that was on a chart, you would understand what I'm saying. Listen, put your hands together, please. Mr. Ryan Bourassa, everyone.
All right. Let's get weird. It's nice to be here. I'm really happy that I didn't have to go first. I'm not usually when you go to comedy shows, the guy who's first on stage is a really high energy act. I'm not like that. I'm the kind of act that asks people, hey, you ever hear your cell phone go off, but it turns out it's just you crying? Just me. I have a lot of anxiety. I don't know why I do this. I've got a lot of social anxiety. My anxiety is so bad that I actually went out and I bought a book to teach me how to manage my anxiety, but now I spend all my time reading that inside, alone on a pillow shaped like my father, which is really hard to get. Got to shop at Bed Bath & Beyond Sadness for that one. You know, sometimes I do these comedy shows, and it's going to be really hard for you to imagine, but sometimes I do these shows and people don't laugh at my jokes. And I also see a shrink, so sometimes I see my shrink, and I'm like, shrink? Sometimes I do these shows and people don't laugh at my jokes. What do I do? And she says, okay, Ryan, here's some Zoloft. Okay, that's cool. How do I get them to take it? So if your drinks taste a little funny, that's me. That's my calling card. Zoloft is a really strange drug. It's got a lot of really weird side effects. One of them being that you want to kill yourself more often, which I think is hilarious. The other one was delayed ejaculation. I didn't know what that was until one day I jerked off, and 6 hours later I was like, what the fuck? I need to change my pants at the supermarkets. On top of the anxiety, I'm also a very paranoid person, and the only reason I think I'm alive to this day is because I thought the other sperm were chasing me. I worry a lot about things that really don't matter, situations that could pop up in my life that would never happen. Like sometimes I worry, oh man, what if I'm in a situation where I have to ask a Chinese musician to lay down some tracks? Because they built our railroads, and track is another word for a song. It worries me extensively. I'm up at night worrying about those Chinese musicians. I'm not a very social guy. I'm very awkward with women. I recently went through a breakup with a girl, and she said, we should break up because we don't have much in common other than that. Neither of us really like you. I was like, all right. Well, what about Breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember the film. And as I recall, we both kind of liked it. What does that have to do with you crying so much? I called her a bitch. It was good. It was good that we broke up, though. She was kind of dense. She was a little stupid. I remember when we broke up, she actually sent me all my dick pics back. With a message that just said, guess I won't be needing these anymore. And I had to explain to her, you understand it's digital media. I didn't give you a Polaroid. You have to physically delete them from your phone. But on top of that, I'm very happy we broke up. She was one of these kinky girls. She likes the kinky stuff. I'm rather vanilla and plain. She liked to talk dirty in the bedroom, which I'm not into. I'm a comic. If you talk dirty to me, I'm just going to laugh in your face. That's funny to me. My idea of dirty talk in the bedroom is saying things like, no, stop, quit hitting me. She asked me to do a very kinky thing once. She asked me to put my penis in her ear, which I thought was strange, so I did it. I asked her how it felt, and I'll never forget what she said. She said, "What?" Can't quite hear you, sweetheart. Got a dick in my ear. On top of not being very good with women, I'm also not very good with men. We talked about being paranoid earlier. I'm really nervous when it comes down to public bathrooms. I'm always afraid that I'm going to be in a public bathroom using a urinal, and a guy will stand next to me using another urinal, and he'll turn to me and he'll say, "Hey, nice penis." And that's not the part that worries me. The part that worries me is that I'll say thank you. I'm nervous about that. So yeah, men, I'm not too good with that. Men will often confuse me for an adult male who knows where he is at all times, which is just not true. They'll often talk to me about very manly things, like they'll say, "Hey Ryan, check out that girl's ass, isn't it awesome?" And I don't know what to say to that shit, so I'm like, I bet she's got a nice personality. Can I go away now? Or Ryan, check out that car, isn't it awesome? I'd be like, yeah, I bet it's got some nuts and bolts of Hemi. I've seen a Dodge commercial 1 or 2 times. I don't know what you're talking about, man. And he'd be like, what kind of car do you drive? And I'd be like, oh, I drive a 93 Ford Taurus wagon. Then I try to man it up a bit. It's got plenty of room for fucking bitches in their vaginas. And I post up for a high five. I don't know if you can tell by my set. I have been to a few psychiatric hospitals in my time. And then I wound up with the shrink. A weird and true story about an interaction with my shrink. I have been seeing a therapist for 3 years, and there was a gap where I wasn't seeing her. And when I started seeing her again, I noticed that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring anymore. And then I left, and then I took note of it, and the next week I came back, and I was like, "Hey, I noticed you're not wearing your wedding ring. What's up with that?" And she said, this is honest to God truth. She said, "Oh, something you said stuck with me 8 months ago. You had said to me, 'Hey, shrink, you're younger than I am. What are you doing getting married?' And then she got a divorce because of something that me, the crazy person." Yes, I have been to a few hospitals in my time. I'm trying to write a book to tell you which ones have the best food. I'm from New Hampshire, so stick with Manchester. Nashville kind of sucks. Psych hospitals aren't as funny as they are made out to be in movies. They're not very entertaining. The funniest thing I'd ever seen in a psych hospital was that someone had been playing Hangman on a whiteboard, and I found it very ironic. Hangman is a very strange game. It's a game where you yell out random letters to prevent someone from being hung. I kind of wish it was real. Like back when we hung Saddam Hussein, it's the government's job to come up with a really tough word. I'd pick xylophone every time. And it gets weirder from there too, because you don't start by hanging a regular guy. You start by hanging a multiple amputee, and then you slowly fulfill his dreams of having limbs. and then you hang him. Sorry. I won't acknowledge that you guys are doing illegal drugs or anything, but I was once doing the jazz cigarettes and drinking extensively, and I was laying on my couch with my close friend and my fiance, and I was so high out of my mind and so drunk that I thought it was hilarious to repeat the phrase over and over again, "Hey, put my feet on you." Which what I really meant is, "Hey, fiance, please pick up my legs and put them on your lap." And I thought it was so funny that I started laughing, and so much that I began crying. And once I stopped laughing and crying, I had said, some point in that laughter and crying, I remembered I don't have a very good relationship with my dad. And I started legit crying. But enough time has passed now, and it's funny. And that's kind of the process of comedy, really. So today's Halloween, and today's October 31st, and stick with me. Every Halloween I have a tradition where I go out to my local supermarket and I buy razor blades and apples. Just to see the look of the cashier's face. And then I try to comfort her by saying, "Oh no, don't worry. I'm just giving children cocaine. Also, I have a horse." You can get yourself one right now. I'll end with this joke. It's a very standard joke, your typical kind of joke. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender sees the horse. Turning to all the bar patrons and his friends, he smiles, and noticing the horse isn't particularly dangerous. And remembering the thousands of jokes about animals walking into bars, naturally the bartender asks the horse, "What can I get you?" And the horse says, "I'll have a rum and coke." The bartender's eyes widen and his heart starts pounding really fast, and a single tear falls from his eye, and he slowly backs out of the bar and goes home. Having discovered his new power, he enters his apartment, and now he can hear gnats in his carpet saying racial slurs. Because they're gnats. And they're racist. He drinks a lot, he takes all his medication, he passes out, and wakes up in the morning and thinks it's all just a dream. Until his cat walks by and says, "Why don't you ever look at my asshole?" And he beats the cat to death because you fear what you don't understand. Guys, I'm Ryan Bourassa. Thank you very much.
Ryan Bourassa. All right.